Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Well, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is October 30th, the day before Halloween. It's Mischief Night. Oh, Mischief Night! Sound effects. By the way, my boy, that's from yesterday. So tell me, let me know whose presenting sponsor is. Say you use the same one?
Yep,
all right, I will.
good.
I like it. Today we're brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Let's go, TrueMark.com/PHLY to find out the credit union difference at TrueMark.com. All right. A lot of stuff to get to. Let's begin with the locals, right? Let's begin with the Flyers. Fly Guys last night up in Boston, a really good win. So Ersan, of course, gets the shutout. He looked really, really good. 23 saves. But it all started, it's funny because the Flyers come in, they're leaking oil, right? Like they're giving up, just a bushel of goals every night. Now, Ersan's been good. He's been tough. Now, if they're so bad in their own zone, like defensively, one of the issues the Flyers have, and where they'll kind of look during this whole rebuild, is you got to get blue line play. Like they're bad in their own zone. And so their goalie's been hung out to dry. Ersan's been good. Of the trio so far, Ersan clearly is the best one. Last night, he made a couple ridiculous saves last night. And it started because it's up in Boston. And I hate the Bruins. Again, it goes back to all the Boston teams. But the Bruins, Pasta Man, Pasternak, right? Marchand. I can't stand them. Can't stand them. Well, Pasta Man is wide open, and they commit a penalty. It's a power play, and they basically tackle Pasta, and they get a 5-on-3, and they killed it, man. Ersan makes saves. It's early the first period. It was big, and then Tyson Forster gets the goal, and next thing you know, empty net. Flyers go on to beat the Bruins 2-0. Like, that's a good win for a team. Like, it's not about wins and losses. We talk about the Flyers rebuild, but it's moments like that keep you going, right? Like, that's moments like that go, all right, we're on the right track, the right direction. So, good win by the Flyers last night as they're able to kind of dam up some of the holes. Like, it's been pretty, it's been pretty ugly in their own zone. So they played well last night, and Ersan was terrific. So Flyers get the win. So we'll discuss that. We'll discuss no Paul George tonight. He's not going to play as we welcome home Tobias Harris. Yes, we welcome home Tobias. A little bit later on, we're going to revisit our old friends with a feature we're going to be doing every once in a while called the X-Files. So we're going to be getting all of our former friends in honor of Tobias coming back tonight. So we'll get into that. We got all kinds of football stuff to get to. Mike Sielski from the Inquirer is going to join us. Every Wednesday, we get the columnists. Mike Sielski will join us today. Always looking forward to it. Mike's terrific. And, of course, today, Kevin Negandhi, as always, our brother up at ESPN, Kevin Negandhi. I will tell you this. One of the things I want to get to, that I want to ask VG, because VG's a man of the world. And I appreciate, like, his sensibilities. He looks at things completely different than I do. He's got a different view of the world. I see a world that is completely gone crazy, gone mad. It's outrageous. I see a world that's completely out of control, that's in chaos. And then I see the sports world mimicking it. Like, there's just insanity everywhere. Let's start with last night. The Yankees. It's the World Series. Now, I'm all for, raucous fans. Listen, we know how we are here, how we want to make sure that we somehow impact the game. We've had many of Octobers, not this one, but many of Octobers over the last couple of years, the last couple of Octobers at least, where we've impacted the game. Well, last night, there's a foul ball, and Mookie Betts catches it in the stands and gets accosted. He's completely, look at this. I'm sure you saw it somewhere along the line, but look at this. He gets accosted by two Yankee fans. Ball's in the stands. Mookie's there. He has the glove. It's not playing. The video's not playing. Here we go.
Fly to right by Torres. Betts in the corner. Does he have room? Fights with the fan.
What are we doing? If that was Philadelphia, oh my God, there would be a SWAT team that came out. That was unbelievable. It's Yankee Stadium. What are you guys thinking? Like, afterwards, they were at a bar and they got somebody caught up with them, and they were like, "Well, we're here. We'll do whatever we can to help the team." Like, that's the most moronic thing that you could possibly say. In a world where there's cameras everywhere, that's on national TV from Fox. They have 1,000 cameras at the stadium. What are you trying to do? Like, you're not helping the team. Of course you're going to put the ball. First of all, you have no chance to help the team. It's fan interference. You should know by now. Whatever happened, remember what happened in Baltimore? The Yankees, it helped the Yankees then. Angel in the outfield when there was fan interference. That is horrible. And they grabbed, one guy's prying the ball out of his glove, and the other guy's holding his arms like he's getting accosted. That's so outrageous. It's ridiculous. Then, over the weekend, I still can't get over the story. And it continued yesterday. We touched on it at the end of the show yesterday with Baldy. Anthony Richardson is a quarterback. He taps himself out because he's tired. He's a quarterback. Is the world crazy? Why? That's not okay. You're tired? Let me see it. Andrews, here you go.
I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just, just told Sam I just needed a break right there.
I needed a break. What? Like what? What? You're a quarterback. That's a lot of running. Yeah, you're a quarterback. What are you, crazy? If you're that gassed, act like you're hurt for 5 seconds. So now, what happens? He loses his job. As well he should. Joe Flacco, who's now approaching 100, is about to start for the Colts, and he gives them a better chance to win. It's insane. And then the third one, where the world is crazy, like the sports world's insane, happens in the Bears-Washington game. And this is unbelievable because Tyreek Stevenson, look at him. He's in the middle of a play arguing with fans. Then they realize the play's going on, and he rushes over. Look at this, rushes over, and he's not in the right position. He's the one who tips the ball. That causes the Hail Mary. He's busy yapping with the fans. If I was a coach, I would lose it. I would absolutely lose it with these dudes. Are you crazy? You're engaged with the fans? It's like, I didn't understand. You're an athlete. Why would you engage with fans in that spot? Like, why do that? It just makes no sense. And then you get completely caught. You're yapping. You're completely caught. And then you rush into the play. It's a joke. It's unbelievable. Anthony Richardson, time, man. I got to go. I'm just a quarterback. Fans acting insane, ripping off the gloves. The world is nuts. The whole world's crazy. VG, I blame you.
Me?
Yes.
I'm an innocent bystander.
You're
in all
all
this.
tolerant.
I'm tolerant.
Yeah, you're a man
I'm the
of tolerance.
violation man. I call out violations all the time.
You're too tolerant.
Dude, here's
This
another.
world is nuts.
Dude, well, I'm walking down Walnut Street about 11 o'clock last night, maybe 10:30, 10:15. A guy comes out of Butcher and Singer, really nice steak shop, high end, with 2 dogs, like 60-pound dogs, getting his takeout. Why would you bring your dogs in it's a nice night out for people. You bring your 2 dogs in to pick up
a violation,
your takeout.
man.
That's
It's so violation.
That's horrible.
That's how crazy it is out there. I'm on the streets with Black Gritty. It's crazy out there.
It's insane.
Dude.
It's insane.
Prices are crazy. Politics are crazy.
I mean, every day, like the politics are just
nuts.
And because we live in a swing state, it's ridiculous. It's horrible. All inundated with it all. The world is nuts.
Bonkers. There's no. I don't know. There's no consequences. There's no
Law.
consideration.
There's no law. It's lawless out there.
Our own coach was going crazy on the sidelines.
He's talking to fans.
Yeah.
Stop.
Accountability. There's no accountability in the world anymore.
The world is insane. It's wild. It's incredibly insane. Can't understand it.
No, dude. It's like it's almost like a video game. When you walk around town, you never know what the hell you're going to see. It's chaos.
See. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, like there's no decorum, right?
Yeah.
Listen, we're flawed human beings, right? So human beings we're cursed with frailty, right? We're flawed. That's how God made us. But we don't need to have all the flaws out in the open all the time. Like, keep the flaws at home.
Nah, man.
Locked it away in
the
the
flaws
closet.
are out there. Driving is crazy since the pandemic. I've been going to the burbs a lot to hang out with my mom. Like, the chaos is not just in the city. It's everywhere.
No. The chaos is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's completely everywhere. And I was thinking about this morning. I'm like, I hate freaking driving. I'm crossing over so I'm talking to my man at the Ben Franklin Bridge, my boy Soul Taker, right? All of a sudden, behind us. All right, the guy talking about his son, like my friend. That's it.
Right,
whatever. All right. Then you're just cars going every which way, and everybody's got the right way. Like, who's going at 676?
Once you get
who's
through
going
the
to
toll
Center
booth?
City? Yeah.
Oh,
if you're
man.
going to Ben Franklin Bridge, it's completely chaos. Who's going to the Old City? Who's going to 95? It's like 17 different directions, and everybody's going, bleep you, and you turn around. You get the finger everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everybody wants to give you the finger.
Oh, yeah.
I just see devils everywhere I turn.
Everyone's just so self-consumed. It's all about, like, listen, if you're in a rush, get an easy pass. You cannot be honking at someone at the toll exchange with money. If you're in that much of a rush, you got to get the easy pass.
It wasn't a 10-minute conversation.
No, I
you know
know.
what I mean? Like, it was literally a couple seconds.
But you're right, dude. Getting through the Ben Franklin Bridge on the other side is a very stressful situation. If you're like too far to the left or right to get, it's because just a crazy merge.
Think about it, right? Because you have 676 to connect you to Schuylkill, right? Going over Center City. That's straight ahead.
Yeah.
There's always packed. Then you got Center City to the left.
Yes.
Old City to the right.
The hard right at the bottom of the
exactly.
bridge.
And then 95
yes.
to the diagonal right.
yeah.
Like, it's insanity. And everybody has entitlement.
Oh,
that they're going to go, it's my lane.
Yep.
Me. You know what the problem is? We're freaking selfish.
We are.
We're
That's
self-centered.
self-absorbed. Yep.
We're just jackals. We're self-centered. We're selfish. Like, seriously, Anthony Richardson, that he's got no shame. And we all have no shame.
No, he's up there owning like he doesn't see anything wrong with this.
No.
Nothing.
Dude, you're a quarterback. If that was like Massimo, I would have lost my. Forget about if I'm a coach. If I'm an NFL coach,
yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
Right.
You're tired.
I can't even imagine my North Catholic basketball team if our coach would have taken my shoes off and threw them out the window.
Yeah, seriously.
It's ridiculous.
Like, can you imagine? And then what happens at Yankee Stadium last night? Those dudes were hooligans. They ought to be locked up.
Right, and it's all about
They're
them at that time.
Like, you can't grab a player.
No.
Like, you're going for the ball, whatever. You don't matter. You're Bartman.
Yeah.
All right. Like, things happen,
Yes.
right? Like, you're oblivious. They weren't oblivious. There was a coordinated attack.
Yeah.
They attacked Mookie Betts.
And Mookie's trying to use his other hand, and his other buddy jumps in like he's got his back, like to help him out. Like,
and then they're acting like, and the greatest is they're like, what? Like, we're there for the team.
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind? Like, you can't
Assaulting a guy is for the team.
a player.
Yeah, come on.
Like, that's outrageous.
And that would be a 10-minute segment on SportsCenter diving into all the Philadelphia fan shenanigans.
Oh,
if that happened here.
It would have been all in.
You get the snowballs. You
They'd have a montage ready to roll.
Oh my God!
Meanwhile, like Dodger fans are killing people, and there's like all these brutal fights every weekend in all the stands.
Oh my God, the Dodger fans.
They're wild. I'd be scared to go to a Dodgers game.
Dude, there's a couple times when goes back in 08 and 09, like during those two series, and I'm outside, and there was one of our news people at Fox ran into some trouble because we were doing a live shot, and they got into some trouble. In fact, we were trying to find them. Like, listen, it's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm scared of that ballpark. I've never been.
But here's the thing: the whole world's nuts. Like, and then you got Tyreek Stevenson from the Bears.
That's outrageous.
Seriously, what are you doing?
Is he high? Like, seriously, the play is going on.
Like, the play's going on. He's that's unbelievable.
You should be cut. Like after that, you should be cut.
Get out.
Get out. Don't play for the team anymore. If you want to go do that, go do it at home. You're not here on the field.
What do you care? Stop. Stop. These Twitter again. You know what? The whole thing that bothers me, right, is these Twitter beefs. Like, everybody has a Twitter beef or
Twitter's a cesspool.
Like these beefs.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just stop. I'd rather see you go in the ring and fight, right?
That'd be great.
It would be great.
Than be a part of, and I still don't even understand it. We all have trolls. We all understand it.
Yeah.
I can sit here and tell you that I've never gone back and forth with someone over Twitter.
Yeah,
like,
I don't get heated. I mean, I'll be trying to be funny, but I'll never get upset.
But what? But why?
Yeah.
There's nothing to gain from it. The person, you don't even know what they look like. You know, who cares, right? Who cares? But it's the same thing. You know, it's these guys who want to have a beef on Twitter. There's nothing. It's bizarre. The whole world's insane.
Well, what about?
BG.
Did you see the video of the Ravens guy? He cold clocked those two Commanders fans, knocked them both out. He ended up getting arrested.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I never lose." Like, he's just walking down the street smashing littler guys in the head.
Yeah. No. It's there's no civility.
No.
That's maybe the word, right? I saw another one where some guy was in some other guy's face, and the guy it was at a game, and the guy happened to be a Ranger, right?
Like a Army Ranger?
Yes.
Wow.
And the Ranger was smiling at the guy.
I bet.
As the guy was like, looking like a rabid dog.
Yeah.
And the Ranger's like, and then they're kind of pulling at him, and you can see things better of it because the Ranger would have probably tore that dude apart.
Ripped his throat
right?
out. Yeah.
And he walks away.
Yeah.
The only one showing any kind of decorum was the Army Ranger.
Yeah. I never thought I'd say, but maybe we all need a little military academy for a year. Just to get some discipline, some self-control.
It's insane out there. Like, when you think about sports, like, certain things you don't do. I'm around kids all the time, right?
Yeah.
Coaching my kids, all the youth sports. That is like I constantly talk to them about behavior.
Right.
You know, about I got on the Massimo the other day again. Like, dude, I don't want to see you slam your bat. Like,
Oh,
if
no?
you strike
No bat
out,
slamming?
No. You strike out, I don't want to see it. You know, I don't want to see you slam your bat. I don't want to see, I got called out. I don't want, no excuses. Go down, and I get you're disappointed, but you get another at bat and go achieve next time. You got to control your emotions.
It's not because the bats are too expensive. You don't want them breaking the bat.
God, for you break the bat, forget about it. I'll really lose. Are you kidding me? I'll lose my mind. He breaks that bat. You better treat that bat where it costs more than anything I got, anything I own.
My nephew's
other
played.
than my house.
I was blown away at the price of bats. That's crazy too. The price of bats.
That's insane. The whole world's insane. At least the Flyers won last night.
Oh, in Boston.
Thank God,
23
brother.
saves. You see the one where the puck's like between his legs on the line? Dude, they dominated faceoffs. This is a good faceoff team. Almost every game they dominate faceoffs. The penalty kill.
Listen, the Pasta man.
Yeah.
He was about to bury one. They commit the penalties, right?
Yes.
5-on-3, and they kill it off.
Great penalty kill.
For a minute 37.
Emil Andre's got to stay up. He looks good. He's fun. I like him.
I like
that
Emil
back
Andre.
there.
Yeah.
28 block shots. They were just diving all over the place. 28 block shots. Crazy.
Frost was all over the place blocking
and the
shots.
moms. Keep the moms. You see that? It was a mom's trip. And I think Scotty Lawton was like, we had to put a show on for the moms. Bring the moms to every game. That's how young the Flyers are. They don't have like the wives and girlfriends.
It's a mom's
they
trip.
have mom's trips.
That's great.
Well, that's actually fabulous.
Right.
Listen, I'd rather have a young team. Like, yeah, that's the whole point of having a young team.
Yeah.
Let them grow.
I got to get brain. What odds can you get that at some point Mishkov's going to get a Michigan, one of those lacrosse goals? Because he tried it again last night. That's his second time in like 7 games.
He'll do it. At some point,
right?
He'll get it done. You know it. You know it. All right, we got lots to get to. Mike Sielski from the Inquirer is going to join us. Looking forward to talking to Mike, one of the great columnists in town. So we'll go across the 4for4 landscape. That'll be a blast. And then, of course, the brain. And then our buddy Kevin Negandhi, ESPN. But first, let's talk about Rothman Orthopedics. Joints aching, hands cramping, back out of whack. Rothman's got you. At Rothman Orthopedics, practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission, high quality, compassionate, affordable care rooted in research. Research leading to new treatments and better outcomes. Each Rothman doc is laser focused on their specialty. Hip, knee, spine, you name it. They have a team for each body part right here in our own backyard. That's right. So you can cross over to defense, drain those jumpers, root for our teams like no other fans in the country, baby. They are Rothman Orthopedics, and they specialize in you. That's it. So here's the deal. Check out RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to learn more and to make an appointment today. That's RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY. All right. Now, it is engagement season.
Yeah, it is.
It's
We're
that
rolling
time.
now.
Yeah, now we are. Tomorrow's Halloween. Very romantic time. So between Halloween begets Thanksgiving, begets Christmas, begets New Year's.
I got engaged at Thanksgiving time.
Did you?
On my way home from college, yeah.
We did New Year's.
New Year's, yep.
Yeah.
Did you hide it in the turkey?
No.
The ring?
Pagan
the
Pagan
family's
doesn't
around.
eat poultry.
The family's all around. It's like a perfect time, right? If you met that special somebody, go see my man, Yaron, all right, at Golden Nugget Jewelers. Golden Nugget Jewelers, he's the best. Right in the heart of Center City Jewelers Row, 8th and Chestnut. In fact, you can make a whole day of it. Go sit with Yaron. He'll show you all the diamonds. He'll give you a whole dissertation on what to get, cut, clarity, you name it. You'll walk away with a great purchase that you'll be happy with, right? Because here's the thing. It's a big deal. It's not as much as a baseball bat these days for kids, but it's a big deal. It's a big purchase. So here's going to make you feel good about it, work within your budget. You walk away with something that's going to be special that will make her melt. And then it's up to you, whether you want to go Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's or whatever, Valentine's Day. It's right there. All right. Golden Nugget Jewelers. And by the way, you'll need your own for the rest of your life because there's anniversaries and birthdays and holidays that you got to give jewelry to. So make sure you go check out Golden Nugget Jewelers, goldennuggetjewelers.com, where Philly gets engaged. All right. Now joining us. You ready?
Yeah.
I love our boys from the Inquirer. And they do such a great column. We have a couple great columnists in this town.
I look forward every time they release something.
They really are good. Mike Sielski joins us. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Sielski.
I'm great, guys. How are you? I'm going to lower my screen
insane.
a little bit. So
No, you look
there.
good.
I look a little better.
Mike, the world's insane, is it not?
Everything about the world is insane, Anthony. Politics, sports, my day-to-day existence. I want it all to calm down, man.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm like everything. It's crazy. I'm thinking to myself, I just want calm and peace.
The world needs a gummy.
Yes.
That's what that's.
I'm not opposed to that, Greg. I'm not opposed to that in any way. And you know what it is, guys? It's these freaking things.
Yes. Yes.
It's these things. They drive us crazy.
Yes.
You're not saying your kids that we saw as your screensaver. You're talking about the phone.
Oh, no. I meant the phone. My two
just
sons
making
are
sure.
awesome.
All right.
Good call, Greg. Thanks for that.
You're right. And for some reason, and maybe it's social media. And I had a conversation with a tech guy who was a part of the Silicon Valley revolution when it came to social media and all that stuff. And he said, we knew that a byproduct of what would happen with social media is that human beings would become so self-centered that they would lose all perspective and it would hurt society. And so then it trickles down to sports. And Mike, you got, Anthony Richardson tapping out of a game. You're the freaking quarterback, and you think it's okay.
That is one of the craziest stories, Anthony, I've ever seen. Does this guy not understand that his 5 offensive linemen in front of him are playing every snap for him? And he thinks he can tap out and just say, sorry, guys, I'm a little tired. And therefore, I need to take a break. But you keep blocking for Joe Flacco, and I'll be right back. And it takes us to a whole nother direction, too, about, why NFL teams draft quarterbacks who aren't ready to play and whether, the flip side of this, of course, is put yourself in Anthony Richardson's position, right? He's getting told he's going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. How do you not come out and take the millions even though probably in your heart of hearts, you're not ready to play in the NFL? It's just crazy every which way you look at it.
No, it really is. It's insane. And then you got Tyreek Stevenson. He's getting into it with the fans while the play's going on during a Hail Mary in which he flubbed. That's incredible. And then last night, Mike, Yankee Stadium, it's okay to accost Mookie Betts. They were ripping the ball out of his glove. One guy's holding the other arm. Like, dude, there's a camera there. What are you guys doing? It's Saturday. And then they think it's okay. Oh, we're helping the team.
Yeah, I think a lot of this, Anthony, comes down to kind of the general idea that you as an individual use whatever platform. And by platform, I literally mean like whether you write for Inquirer.com or you play for the Chicago Bears in the NFL, or you are a fan at a game that is going on in front of you, you use that kind of platform to serve yourself before you actually serve the institution that's giving you the platform, right? Like at the Inquirer, and I know you know this, there's a way that you're supposed to do things when you work at a reputable news organization. And I feel like whether it's at a place like the Inquirer or other media outlets or within these big leagues, people use these stages to benefit themselves rather than actually work toward the best of the institution or the whole experience for everybody. I mean, that's what those Yankees fans were doing last night. It's like, we don't care. We're just going to use this moment to grab Mookie Betts and end up in a million memes. And you get something absolutely ridiculous and unjustifiable.
That's so brilliant, Mike. It's so spot on because we are all about self, right? It goes back to self-centered. It goes back to, there's never, and we're from a town that was built by the Quakers, right? And the Quakers were always about the collective. They weren't about the individuals. The Quakers were about the good for all. And that's what's missing in society is the good for all.
Yeah, there's a time and a place to look out for number one. And there's a time and a place to, as the great Phil Jasner would say, skate your wing.
Yeah.
If someone passes you the puck, dump it in the corner or take a shot and then get off the ice and come back and do your job or act the way you're supposed to act at a ball game. And it sure seems like we're losing any sense of that.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. All right. As always, what I want to do each week with you guys, all right, is I want to go across the 4-for-4 landscape and get what is really at the forefront of your brain, all right, with each team. Let's start with the Eagles, right? Because obviously the Birds now like 5-2 after the win on Sunday. Where are you at? Front lobe Birds.
I mean, that was a prove-it game for them, and they proved it. That was a really impressive performance against a very good offense, not a very good defense, and certainly not a great offensive line. But I kind of went into Sunday in Cincinnati thinking that they were going to lose that game. And the defense, after that opening drive, played wonderfully. Jalen Hurts had his best game, I think, since Super Bowl 57, I think you could argue, both in terms of throwing the ball to the middle of the field, all of the things that we were kind of lamenting that he wasn't doing, even running for first downs and touchdowns, he did. So that's a really good thing all around for the Eagles. And, it's weird, Anthony, ever since the bye, and I think even more specifically, ever since that Cleveland game, the aftermath of that, there seems to be more of a calmness around them. I think it's emanating from the head coach. To me, the head coach has been different and better, publicly at least, the last 2 weeks. He is handling every interaction with media with much more of a sense of calmness. He doesn't seem as scattershot. I was a big critic of him in the aftermath of that Browns game, the way he handled that press conference, the way he handled himself during that game, mowing with the fans like that. But this team seems to kind of like just grounded itself over the last couple of weeks, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. He does seem different. And they also, too. Now, I think defensively, you're seeing the effects of Fangio. And my two favorite stories are Mitchell and DeJean. Those two kids, they've provided like really a lockdown to the secondary. And they remember last year and even the Super Bowl year, they would get exposed by really good quarterbacks. And that was not the case with Joe Burrow on Sunday.
No, it wasn't. Mitchell's been terrific. Look at the opposing quarterback's passer rating when they throw at him. It's in like the high 60s or low 70s.
Yeah.
Nobody can move the ball on him. He's a top flight cornerback right now. And DeJean has obviously been terrific. The fourth down play he made on Jamar Chase there, the instincts he's showing. What it tells you, I think, Anthony, is fans and analysts and even executives can get into trouble in the NFL when they say to themselves, okay, we're going to draft for need immediately, right? We have a hole at this position and we're going to take a guy who plays that position and hope he steps in right away. That's kind of fraught. But when you get guys like Mitchell and DeJean who step in right away, man, it is such a boost. It is of immeasurable benefit to have these kind of young players step in right away and be able to play. You can't predict when it's going to happen, but when it does, it's a big help.
Yeah, I see. This is why we have Mike on, man.
Some knowledge, some wisdom.
Yes, great wisdom. He's a wisdom guy.
Yeah.
I love wisdom people. All right, Flyers last night. Listen, I thought Pasta, oh no, Pasternak, Bruins, Marchand. I thought the way they've been leaking oil or leaking goals, that it would get ugly. Nice night last night.
Great night last night. Shows what they could possibly be if they get competent goaltending, which they have not gotten much of. Certainly not when Fedotov has been in there the few games that he's played. Look, they were not competitive for the first 7 games of this season. They won opening night, lost those 6 games in a row, and looked awful doing it. It's a long stretch. They're young, and I think we talked about this the last time we were on together. They're interesting because they're so young and because of Mishkov and some of the other guys they have. They've got to settle the goaltending issue down because I don't think they're going to be able to evaluate adequately who stays, who goes for the long term until they have some stability in net. It can actually judge like, oh, okay, we gave up 6 goals tonight and got beat 6-2, but 3 of those goals were from 50 feet out and went through the goalie's legs. Like, it just will make everything easier for them if they can just get some stability in net.
Now they need to get better in their own end though too. Like
that too, absolutely. Yeah, the defense has been very shaky. You're right.
Like my God, I think it's clear, right? I think they know Fedotov is big, the Russian freighter, but he just doesn't move. He's not quick laterally, and it kills them. I think Ersan is legit. He's not your long-term answer, but I think he's legit. Like you can. I think you have a good point about how do I truly analyze my roster. So I need someone who's competent, and I think Ersan would be that.
Yeah, I don't know that he's your number one for a 5 to 10 year period, but he's a legitimate NHL goaltender who could split time with somebody else or be a backup if one of these other kids you have in the system moves forward and actually develops into a number one.
All right, let's move on to the Sixers tonight as they welcome back Tobias Harris. No PG, but you get all the Tobias you want, baby.
How much does anyone want?
Are they getting? Does he get a video tribute tonight?
That's a great question, Greg. Oh my gosh!
After they paid him all that money, he doesn't need a video.
It'd be great if his video tribute was just all his charity work and off the court stuff.
Greg, if they did video tribute to all the charges he took over the 5 years he was in Philly, there would be no video tribute.
Oh, that's priceless. I love it. I love it,
man.
So no,
it's interesting. It's interesting, Anthony. Like you think about that, right? You think about the fact that they signed him for 5 years and they hoped that he would be one of Embiid's running buddies over the course of this period. And in a vacuum, the logic is sound, right? Total character guy away from the court, versatile, can score, can presumably rebound. It was a Joe Banner, Howie-like move when you think about it, right? Like he's going to flourish when he's here, as long as he's here in one place. And man, it never, ever happened. Never happened. And listen to Nick Nurse's comments yesterday about him. You could tell Nick knew it wasn't going to happen, even in that 1 year they were together.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing about him too? He was one of the nicest guys like you ever want to meet, right?
Right.
I mean, you know him. I mean, he was just a gentleman. And it's a shame because I wanted him to succeed, and he just wasn't a killer.
No, it's funny you say that, Ant. So a couple of years ago when my book about Kobe Bryant came out, I did a podcast alongside of it, like a 12-part narrative podcast. And the last episode of it was tying together like Kobe's past to Kobe's present and his legacy. And one of the NBA players I talked to for the podcast was Tobias. And he spoke for 5 to 10 minutes about how he had worked out with Kobe and how much he admired him, and he tried to model his game after him. And the whole time he's saying this, I'm like, I can't believe I'm hearing this, because you can't talk about two players who were more disparate in the way they approached a game than Kobe Bryant and Tobias Harris.
I know. You look at it and you go, some guys, you still need to have that killer, that assassin mentality. And you look at a guy like Tobias, and he's kind of like the offshoot of today's excess, where you get paid way more than you deserve, and you're content. Like, he was a content ball player. And, he could put up numbers at times. He didn't want to stress. He'd want to disappear into the crowd a little bit during games, into the shadows. And that was him in a nutshell.
Look at his background, Anthony. He and his brother, Terrell, bounced around to high schools and AAU teams. Go back to the eve of the national championship game last year when CBS interviewed Danny Hurley about how he's able to find players who win, who want to win. And one of the things that Hurley cited was, if we're recruiting a kid who's bounced around to AAU teams and high schools, that's a red flag for us. And Tobias, you're right, is an incredibly nice guy. But what's he done throughout his basketball career? High school, college, NBA. He's bounced around from team to team, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because I think about that with my own children and the idea, because they play sports. And, you want to make sure you're not bouncing around from organization to organization, that there's stability, that you build this foundation, because that's all youth sports is. I'm in the middle of it. And
God. And I'm sure you're paying at the yin yang for whatever your kids are doing, and you're traveling everywhere all over the weekend. It's one of my biggest pet peeves in our society today is the professionalization of youth sports. I would love to just be able to drive down the street and see kids. And I know this is nostalgic, and it's always better back in your day, right? But I would love to see some kids with a wiffle ball bat and a tennis ball playing in a cul-de-sac somewhere, instead of having to drive to Southern Maryland or Western Pennsylvania or fly to Georgia to play in some baseball tournament, in the hopes that one of them is going to become Juan Soto.
Yeah, no, that's it. All right, lastly, we got Yankee Stadium last night, and the fans accosting Mookie Betts. If that were Philadelphia, ellipses, ... finish the thought.
There would be, if you put your television or laptop or phone to ESPN or ESPN.com today, there would be smoke coming from the device. That's what it means. I mean, we all know there's a double standard here, despite the best efforts of any number of media members in town, whether it's you, your old partner, my old partner, Glenn Macnow, trying to play down and let people understand what throwing snowballs at Santa Claus was really all about. The fact is that there's just a double standard. And look, New York, you worked there just like I did. You know how diverse and varied that fan base is. You're going to have some yahoos. You're going to have some really knowledgeable, smart people. Guess what? The same thing's true in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But you're 100% right. If this had been Philly, this would be looked at in an entirely different way.
It's so true. I mean, think about it, VJ.
Yeah, it would have been. We'd be so miserable today. It'd be an all-day story.
Oh my God!
Absolutely. And look, I think things have changed over time. I think you guys have been around long enough to see it too. The fact is that if you want to go back to the Phillies in 08, that's fine. But I really think the fact that the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 18 turned the volume down and turned the temperature down on a lot of the really hardcore anger that had been percolating in the region for a long, long time now. Ever since then, the teams have kind of been working to get us back angry again, right? Look at what the Sixers are doing. Look at the Phillies flaming out in the playoffs. The Eagles collapsed last year. But the fact is that the town was angry for a long time because it had been 25 years between championships, and it had been our football and baseball stadium is a big, giant concrete donut. Things are a little lighter now, and I think that should be taken into consideration.
And I mean, it's a great point, because the other aspect was they were the kings of close. I mean, the beginning of Andy's era here, when you go to all those championship games and lose, it just makes it worse, right? Like, it's one thing if you're just completely horrible, right? you're desensitized. But when your hopes are lifted up only to be dashed time and time again, that makes you even more insane.
You're 100% right. You know, I have a number of friends, Anthony, who are Yankees fans, and I always chuckle when I hear them say, you know, in fairness, we haven't celebrated a championship since 2009. And I always kind of say, like, guys, no offense, but like rooting for the Yankees is like rooting for Apple. Get back to me when you're a Phillies fan, okay? Please.
Yes. Yeah, great stuff. What's going on in your world, brother?
So last time I was on, I told you about the book I got coming out next year, Magic in the Air, about hoops. I have more news on book front. You're going to love this, Anthony. I've started work on my next book. The working title is Going the Distance. And to time it up with the 50th anniversary of the release of the film in 2026, I'm writing the story of the making of Rocky.
Oh man.
Oh, dude, I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I freaking love it.
Wow.
So I've got a contract for it. I have traded emails with Sly, already done some interviews with Irwin Winkler, who was one of the producers of the film, produced Goodfellas and Raging Bull. I've interviewed Bill Conti, who of course wrote the music. I've got some research trips planned, doing some deep dives on Philly in the 70s and the boxing scene and all of that kind of stuff. I'm having so much fun on this project, and it's coming out in 2026.
Oh my God, I love it. I freaking love it. It's fantastic. You know what's funny? So if you need any help with the 70s, so I'm developing a TV show that takes place in the 70s. And it's right at the 1976, right during the bicentennial. And so
oh my God.
It's a mob underworld show. So it's all about, at that point, the confluence of the Italians, the blacks, the remnants of the Jewish mafia, right? And the Irish, and how the unions were, and the goons. And it's all this whole big kind of pool with Rizzo as the mayor, right? So it's really rich, textured. So I'm in the middle of developing this stuff. So I've been in on the 70s for like the last 5 years, kind of diving into it.
Anthony, first of all, that sounds amazing. Second of all, people outside of Philadelphia, and even most people in Philadelphia, don't appreciate that if you think about it, Philadelphia from about 1973 until about 1984 or 5, maybe until Move happened, you could make an argument that that was the center of the urban universe in this country, between what the sports teams were doing, between the conflict that you're exploring with Rizzo and race relations in the city, the rise of the sound of Philadelphia, and its imprint on popular music.
Oh my God!
I mean, there's so much going on there was so much going on in the city at that time, and Rocky is part of that. And it's such a rich time in American history. I cannot wait to see how the show turns out, man. It sounds great.
Uncovered a story about Rocky, which I don't want to.
You got it. If I get anything, I'll share with you. You know, Casa Sukasa, my friend.
I actually have a story about it, so that I covered. So I will talk about it. I love the project.
Sounds great.
Awesome.
Hey, Mike.
This sounds awesome.
You got a couple of TV writer guys here. If you need some help doing a documentary version of it for Netflix, let us know.
I will be in touch. I will be in touch, guys.
Mike, I love it, man. I think that's awesome.
A great idea.
And it's perfect because it's USA 250 and Philadelphia will be at the forefront of the country in 2026. So we love it, man. Great stuff, buddy.
Thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, man. All right? Good stuff.
All right. Sounds good.
Here he is, Mike Sielski.
It's good dude. He's always got good projects.
It's a great project, man. I freaking love that. That's a great story.
Yeah, I'm all in. You just told me there's a documentary or a book about the making of Rocky.
I think it's fantastic. All right.
I just found this note being a Tobias Harris day. Matt Decker tipped me off to it. Tobias Harris has made more money in the NBA than anyone else who's never made an All-Star game. $211 million.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Another Sixer or former Sixer is number 3. Batum He's made $187 million and
Nick
never
Batum
never made an All-Star game.
has made how much money?
$187 million. The world is out of whack. Nice player, but come on.
I mean, you got to be kidding me. Like, that's the biggest thing about the league, the NBA, is that it's not about the top guys and what the top guys are making. It's about those guys.
Yeah. Number 2 is he was the headline piece of the Carmelo Anthony trade for the Knicks. Danilo Gallinari.
How much has he made?
$197 million.
Oh, my God.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, $200 million?
Yes.
Those are outrageous numbers.
They're outrageous.
For Gallinari?
Outrageous.
Oh, that's unbelievable. All right, joining us now, my man, the Brain.
Red, the Brain Finder.
A lot of money, Brain, these guys are stealing. We can get our hands on it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
How about Brain?
I mean, what are you going to say?
You look good there,
You're looking
Brain.
good today.
But Nick
No
Batum,
hat.
No, have fresh white tea. Looks good.
yeah, well,
Looking good, buddy.
Nick Batum, yeah, appreciate that. But Nick Batum, look, he at least had a decent career. He was a role player. He was never,
$200
really-
million.
$200 million.
maybe in
Big $200
Charlotte
million
back in the
for that?
day.
For a couple boards.
No, I'm
some
not saying
D.
that. I'm not saying that.
Oh,
but
my
he
God.
wasn't the worst player.
Brain brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook, an online casino app. That's right. Brain, what do you did well last night. Your man, Brandon Ingram, went for 30. I believe you had the over there. Right? What else? You
Well, we did have, always full disclosure, we did have Rudy Gobert over blocks. He hurt my feelings, didn't get there. But yeah, Ingram went way over. Gobert just wasn't able to get it done. But, look, split. Worse things, because it was, at least Gobert was taking a big price.
I think I just want the Dodgers to end this thing now. I'm at the point where I was like looking forward to a long series, and I don't know. I've not enjoyed this series at all, and I should. And Freddie Freeman's the greatest.
I agree. It's funny, Anthony. I have the exact same thoughts as you. Again, we didn't speak before, but I was like looking forward to this World Series. Like, all right, cool, Dodgers, Yankees. And Game 1, I actually really enjoyed. But then it was almost like, the saying the air went out of the tires. I don't know what it was. The last 3 games have just been, for at least me, not that that makes it right, obviously, but just kind of just going through the motions. And now I'm like, all right, just let it just end. Let the Dodgers just win, and let's move on to 2025. I'm not feeling it. I don't know why. Just not.
Yeah. Feeling the same way.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm with the Brain there.
Maybe because by the way, VG, love the shirt.
Oh, nice, man. From our
That's
friends over at Shad
phenomenal.
Sports.
Yeah, that's a good one,
on the
man.
Spectrum.
Yeah, I had to bring it out.
That's
After the
a damn
Flyers
good
game
one.
last night, I had to bring out some old Spectrum stuff.
No, that's a really good one, man. I like that. I wish I had that. I'm gonna have to buy something like that. I like that.
Send me your address. Text me your address.
Yeah,
I'll get you one.
You're a good man. You're a good man. I like that.
How'd you do with your trash pick?
Anyway,
Trash pick is not great. But
I told you, you didn't listen to me.
I know. But I ended up with Flyers money line, so I ended up ahead last night.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I told you.
You said take the Flyers. We're going to win.
Yeah. I'm riding Trash Man's back with his squad tonight. Kennesaw State plus 20.
I'm the trash man.
you can't help yourself.
Baby.
You cannot help. Look, they had that big win last week.
Yeah, I've ridden up 3 weeks in a row.
107.
Uh,
Look, Western Kentucky's no great shakes, but you with Kennesaw State, man. That is like the only thing I know in life, is there's death, taxes, and VG is going to like Kennesaw State. Those are like the 3 things in life I can count on.
I'm like an old baseball manager. I ride the hand that got me here, man. Until
I mean, you're loyal. You're a loyal dude.
All right. What are your plays for this evening? And by the way, don't forget, big night as we'll go through the football card, and there's some big ones. The Penn State Ohio State
Anthony,
game,
5 or
dude,
6.
I can't wait for it.
Are we at 5 or 6 tonight?
6.
6. Okay, very good. Look forward to it. Couple props, Anthony, I'm going to give you, which I think merit a play. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, great player for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They made his rebounds 6.5. Well, again, in 75 games last year, He went under this total 50 times and went over 25. I just think it's one rebound too high. Now, he's gotten off to a good start this year. He's actually gone over all 3 games. But I say to myself, has something fundamentally changed? His minutes are about the same. No real injuries. They didn't have Hartenstein last year anyway. So I'm going to trust the data of every single year before this and say this is still a winning bet. So I'm going to go under 6.5 rebounds for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Just think it should be closer to 5.5. And then, listen, this one is my favorite of the two. Chris Paul, they made his points tonight 8.5. Now, he averaged 9 points a game last year, Anthony, but he's not going to average 9 points a game on this San Antonio team. I can tell you that for a fact.
No.
I will make a prediction. Come 10 days from now, maybe not even, Chris Paul's over-under will go from this 8.5 to 6.5. He's an average 6 and change this year. This is a good bet. This is a bet that's going to win. He's not going to score 9 points. He's not going to get those.
Says that, you got to tail him. He's telling
Chris Paul's not getting 9 points.
How much juice is that?
Chris
What's
Paul's
that
not
cost?
getting 9 points.
What's that cost a bet?
What's that?
What's the juice on that one?
The juice on that, my friend, was, I texted this to Andrew earlier. It looks like it was minus 132. Minus 132
Listen to him.
Is what it was. I
Listen
texted him
to
a little
him.
bit
Listen
ago.
to the brain. Listen to
He's
the
not
brain.
going to get 9 points. I'll take the brunt of the criticism on that tomorrow. He's not a 9 point scorer on this team.
I don't think
first of all,
people
something,
are
Chris
lined
Paul.
up and say he went over 10, he went over 9.
Yeah, well, I'll take it. Listen, you know where I'm at. I'm here every day. You can shout at me and I'll handle it. But I will say this is a bet that I think wins 2 out of 3 times. And only land $1.32.
Brad's a good under, man. On the under, I'm hoping. What about Tobias Harris? 11.5 points tonight.
Can I tell you something? And don't like give me a backhand slap to the face. It's taking everything I have not to bet the over. I know. But look, it's interesting. Here was a guy. You say what you say about Harris. Didn't he average like 17 here, guys, for 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row, whatever it was? 5 years. I don't know how many years he played here. For Detroit so far in 3 games, he's only averaging around 10, 11-ish. But 11.5, I think that is light. And I took Tobias Harris. I've taken his over so far. I took his over. I think it took his over like 2 games ago, and I missed by a point. But it 11.5. And now again, you would think this is a game that they would want.
Yeah,
to
he's
get
going to
him.
want to. She's going to want to.
He can shoot all he wants.
Brick, but he may build a house tonight.
Nah, it's a stress situation.
Build a house by brick. So
it's a stress situation.
That's the only thing, Brad, is I can see him shooting 3 for 16.
Yeah,
he can get enough shots off, but
3 for
with the crowd on him,
he might take himself out of the game.
This is Anthony. Is this Bert Hooton part 2?
It could be. And here's the thing about Tobias. He'll hear it.
Oh, yeah.
He's got rabbit
ears. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, he does.
I want to ask you both all kidding aside. I'm a true Philly guy. I'm all Philly all the way, and I always support everything Philadelphia. That's till the day I'm 6 feet under. That's just all I'll ever be. And I always get the Philadelphia fans mentality because I'm one. So it obviously it resonates with me. My question to both you guys is, when going back, guys like J.D. Drew, the venom I understood at the highest of high levels, right? Do you think that Ben Simmons, I understood the venom at the highest level, but do you think that Tobias deserves that kind of venom if you're being fair about it?
No, I wouldn't give.
So here's the thing: he's a
nice
nice
guy.
Yeah, he's very nice guy.
He's a nice guy, honestly, nice guy. But in the terms, when it comes to the realm of fiefdom, he is a big thief, man. If you're going to be real about it, what other? And remember, the worst sin of Philadelphia is the sin of commission, right? Is the sin of not getting involved. Of sin of hiding, and he doesn't want the ball. That's a bad sin, and that's kind of what he was about.
See, if I go down tonight,
he's a shrinking violet.
He is, but if I go down, I applaud him during introductions because I'm so happy he's not here. That is just,
Oh,
I
man,
just
you
didn't want to watch him and cheer for him. So introduce him as a Piston. I'll applaud him, and then that's it. He won't even be a factor tonight.
No, but he's going to get booed. Come
I know.
on,
I
he's
know
going to
he
get
is.
roasted.
I know he is.
And in fairness, what other thieves are bigger? Brizgalov? Tobias made more
That
money.
was yes. Yeah, no. Yes. Absolutely. You
But
can't
Tobias
argue
made
that.
more money than Brizgalov.
That's the different sports, different salary caps. Let's be fair. To scale. No, be fair. You're always fair. To scale. Brizgalov was maybe the biggest bust in Flyers history. Tobias Harris, again, I'm not overrating the guy, but he wasn't like a stiff. He wasn't like the worst player in the league. He wasn't the worst player in the league.
But he killed you. Like in a time when you needed him, he killed you. And the other problem is that he walks hand in hand with Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
And that's a problem,
Yes.
right?
That's
because and I get Brett Brown. Brett Brown's like, Jimmy Butler wants to stab me in the heart and the back, whereas Tobias will listen to me. So that's why he goes to ownership.
But I'm saying I think Brizgalov was. That was a good one by you, Anthony. Who was the other? Well, Chris Gratton was a good one.
Yeah, he was a thief.
Yeah,
he was a good thief.
Yeah, he was.
Matty Geiger.
Come up with a thing on that, Anthony.
Like if you go back in history, there's been a lot of thieves, but Tobias. The Tobias was the friendly thief.
Tobias, the friendly thief.
He was
like Casper the Friendly Ghost. He was the Casper of thieves.
He was.
So
he's the Casper of thieves.
You got to come up with the show on that. You got to come up with the show on greatest thieves in Philadelphia history, and you got to come up with some because that would actually be a really good one.
I'll work on that for tomorrow.
Best thieves. Yeah, I love that. And then for a poll, I'm curious who you come up with because there's Gala without having to dive deeper.
Danny Tartable.
Danny Tartable? But Danny Tartable, was that?
He got a lot of money. He got like 3 at-bats.
Danny Tartable. I love when you get these names from the past. Danny Tartable. What another good name from the past. Yeah. Danny Tartable. I'd have to. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you tonight.
Well, I'll see you tonight because we got a big football card ahead of us. All right?
All right. VG, again, amazing shirt. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, brother. Here he is, the brain, checking in. All right, boys. Coming up, we got our man, Kevin Negandhi. He's going to be great in this. I can't wait to talk to Kevin. We love it. Brain, brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook Online Casino. Of course, he's the man when it comes. He's the ambassador of the Bet Parks Online Sportsbook Casino. So here you go. All the stuff that he talks about, whether it's, the under Chris Paul's points, over the Thieves points, whether it's football card, whether it's your
trash picks, Kennesaw State.
You could find it all on the Bet Parks Online at Sportsbook Casino app. Check it out. You can bet more than just the score. You get all the props you want, all the games. Man, it's the greatest. It's just fun. So make your downtime fun time with the Bet Park Sportsbook Online Casino app. And you can play like VG does. He loves his Baccarat. He loves his online blackjack.
Craps.
Yeah, that's right. He's
live dealer craps.
He rolls the bones. He loves rolling the bones. He likes the hot online slots. Got it all. And in fact, if you're a new customer and you're down in the first 24 hours of play, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Michigan, Ohio. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So while we're talking about the world being crazy, what is not crazy is putting your money in a credit union. And what's even the most sane thing you can do is put your money at TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Credit union is not like those big banks. When you join a credit union, you're actually like part owner. The profits come back to you, better rates on savings, better rates all around and less fees. They got more flexible options than your normal bank, and they got all those digital tools, the websites, the apps, all that stuff. TrueMark's tech stuff rivals any big bank you can find. They got local roots. They're headquartered in Fort Washington, and they have over 24 branches in the Philly area serving our community right here. So becoming a member of credit union has so many benefits over being a customer in a bank. It's a total no-brainer. Head over to truemark.com/PHLY to learn more and to find a branch near you. That's truemark.com/PHLY. Federally insured by the NCUA.
All right, brother. Andrew, my man Eddie Wright, who's fantastic from our chat, just sent over a great Tobias, part of the Tobias tribute. So a little bit later on, we're going to do the X-Files where we dive into, in honor of Tobias, some of our former friends.
I like it.
And
it's going to be fun.
We're gonna tribute this.
Can't wait.
This portion of the program brought to you by Rite Aid. Go to riteaid.com. You need your scripts. You need your flu shots. You need Halloween candy for tomorrow.
Oh. Let me tell you a true story.
Yes.
Went to Walmart. No candy. Rite Aid got the candy. Rite Aid, Front and Snyder. It's where I loaded up my candy for trick or treat.
Oh, you got it?
Yep. They were the only ones with a good selection.
I think we got to get it. We have Kevin?
We're figuring it out right now. Kevin's camera looks to be off, so we're trying to figure out.
All right. Well, coming up shortly, we're going to have Kevin Negandhi every Wednesday. We love hanging out with our man Kev. It is Mischief Night. Did you go out? As a kid, Mischief Night was a big deal.
Let me tell you.
It was the pigeon eggs.
My greatest Mischief Night story, Rose's Pizza, Ellen Lycoming in Juniata. They had a guy who was a curmudgeon, miserable to us as kids, 12 or 13 we were. Mischief Night, the whole neighborhood, like 40 of us, they were on the corner property. We were on both sides, and just on the count of three, just egged this pizza place.
Is it incriminating myself if I said I went out and did some stuff?
You did it too?
Yeah.
You did it too?
Eggs, TP, come on.
I never did that. Toilet paper, I think, is a suburban thing. We did the soap and the eggs.
The soap was always a big deal.
Yeah, you draw stuff on windows, windshields and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's harmless. It comes off with some water.
Right. The egg's no good, though.
No, the eggs is not good. I do not recommend anyone do that.
The egg's no good.
Yeah.
The burning bag of Doggy Duke.
Never did that.
You did that?
Have you done that?
Yeah, you put it on someone's doorstep. You ring the doorbell. You ding dong ditch, and then they come out and they stop
ding
on it.
Ding dong ditch.
Yeah, we used to ding dong ditch all the time.
Did you? You liked doing that stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, those freaking kids.
Yeah, Mischief Night was fun.
Yeah. You?
Yeah, we used to mess around,
I used to work at the local butcher shop deli, and we would not sell eggs to any kids for the week.
No, you couldn't.
No.
You could ever stockpile.
Yes, they'd
stockpile. They get the eggs from the Acme, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Acme didn't care.
By that point, they'd be like rotten and stinky.
You know. Did you talk to Kevin? Because you just texted me.
Yeah, I texted him.
Okay.
Dude, I saw yesterday the press conference with the Bears coach. Tyreek Stevenson's assignment was Noah Brown.
I know.
That was his assignment, to block him out.
It was exactly that.
Yeah, and he just gets so caught up, he runs to the front of the pile and tips it.
How if you're the coach, how do you possibly deal with that?
I don't know his background. Is he a high draft pick? But he should be just cut. That's so egregious.
It is completely egregious.
He's got his back to the play as it's going on.
Are you kidding? He's talking to people. And in the last minute, he sprints toward the play.
Yeah, screws everything up.
Like, what are you doing? Like, that would drive me in. Some of the stuff that goes on would drive me in bonkers.
I think the percentage of the Bears, the Commanders winning that game was like 0.02%.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's nonsense.
No, you know what I'm saying, but to put it in perspective.
Like, obviously, took a Hail Mary for them to win the game.
Dude, and Sielski had a great point with Anthony Richardson. He's scrambling. Try blocking for 12 seconds. Like, that is way more tiring. To say, I scrambled, I was tired. I didn't think about it from the blocker's perspective, and Sielski brought up a great point.
Well, your O-line is blocking for you.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That's exhausting, pass blocking that
Are
long.
you kidding me? It's unbelievable. All right, I think we got our boy. Here we go. What a great time last week. So Kevin was in town doing Sports Center from the floor at the Wells Fargo Center. And we had lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Him, his buddy Tom Engel, his producer, and we had a great time. How about it? We went to Angelo's.
Oh yeah, it was.
We took him over to Angelo's.
Best food ever.
It was a blast. Let's get our man in here. My brother from another mother,
whoa.
looking great. The great Kevin Negandhi, hometown hero. Kev!
What's up, fellas? It's good to see you guys, and it was great to connect last week. The food was great. They took care of us. Shout out to Angelo's and the crew there, and you guys were great to my producer, Tom. Tom had a blast, man. He's in for life. He's one of us.
Nice.
I love what a great, and you know what's nuts is that Tom pitched in the Mets system.
Yeah.
And he pitched with two guys who I wrote about extensively, Paul Wilson and Jason Isringhausen. And so I knew Tom, like I knew of Tom. I was like, oh my God, yes. That was pretty cool.
It's really cool. And a backstory is Tom Engel's been at ESPN for 23 years. He's a producer. He's on the road. Whenever you see SportsCenter on the road, he's our guy. I actually posted something on TikTok with you guys where I took him around to eat because, I mean, I was in Austin with him 2 weeks ago. Like, if he's at the Super Bowl, if you see a SportsCenter on the road, Super Bowl, college football playoff, the Masters, he's doing something for veterans. It's Tom who's behind the scenes making it happen. And then he was a phenomenal pitcher back in high school. I love talking about how he threw 6 straight no-hitters in high school. 6 straight. It's a national record. And then he was drafted by the Mets in the second round. And then, like your connection with that fantastic group of Mets players, those pitchers, where they were supposed to be the next generation of superstars.
Generation K.
Yeah. You gave that nickname, right, on the post.
Yeah. Yep. Generation K. They all had arm trouble. All arm, elbow, and shoulder.
Yep.
So there's so much to go over. But
all right.
I want to start off with the world being insane. Do you feel like that too? Like we're watching like Yankee Stadium, fans are tackling Mookie Betts. I thought of you right away, and sure enough, you're like, if that's Philadelphia, forget about it.
Forget about it. Every single easy trope falls right into it, and it just goes into the conversation of, look how ugly the Philly fans are, and I knew that was going to happen. Every time something bad happens like that in another stadium, I always get the social media reactions like, man, I didn't know Philly fans travel. Like, and it's our sarcasm leaning into this stupid narrative, right? But it was ugly, and you're right. It feels like the world is burning around us, and it's unfortunate, especially what we're going to be experiencing, regardless of where you feel and how you decide. But 6 days from now, I don't think it's going to be pretty. I don't think in the next 3 months is going to be pretty. There's a lot of angst, right? And I think a lot of that has been created through the social media where it's a lot of me, look at me, what about me, instead of, hey, how can I help other people? And that was a perfect example yesterday with those two fans. I mean, I still can't believe it. And then the fact that they're getting high fives on their way out, where they're grabbing. I mean, one of the dudes could have broke Mookie's wrist. The other one, it's unbelievable. And then they're making their case to the umpire like they didn't do anything wrong. Aren't they aware there are hundreds of cameras everywhere catching all of that? It's sad.
And then you got Tyreek Stevenson from the Bears.
All
right, getting involved with fans. We were just talking about that. And then he basically caused the Hail Mary because that was his guy. Noah Brown was his guy, and he runs up and tips it like an idiot. Then you got, Anthony Richardson. Have you ever heard of a quarterback tapping out?
No, and he's 22. I'm not making an excuse for him. He's just learning the hard way. 22 years old. I've never heard that before in my life. And we want our athletes to be honest. But that was one of those, when he said it, I was like, whoa. He said that? He just doesn't know any different, man. And he's learning the hard way through the media, especially being a first round pick. I mean, you just wish that, hey, if that was the case, then somebody may have told him, hey, listen, just go into the tent, catch your breath, do whatever so no one sees you. We'll say something like it's a shoulder and you come back out. You can't be that truthful in that situation. You just can't, because it's going to hang over him regardless. And then obviously they made the change at quarterback right now with Flacco going in this coming weekend.
Kev, I think you're right, man. Like, if you're a trainer or on the sidelines and he tells you he's just tired, their brain probably just freezes. They can't even comprehend what he's saying to respond, to be like, oh, we got to get this guy in the tent just for a play or two. Like, they're just probably like, what? What?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I still can't believe he said what he said, but I also think that he said a lot of dumb things at the age of 22, unaware. And here we got a guy that's pretty honest about it, and he's still trying to find his way. I think he feels a ton of pressure as the franchise quarterback. When you're drafted in the top 5 and you can't stay on the field and you're not healthy, I think he's trying to do it a little bit too much, and they opened the door.
The head coach on the head says, he all right? They're like, yeah, he's just tired. You're like, what? What?
I can't.
Stay on the
You know what?
field for 5 seconds.
Call a timeout. Call a timeout in that situation. We have seen quarterbacks go through all that. Call a timeout. Catch your breath. Hey, I got to catch my breath here. Just figure that out. You gotta kind of help the kid understand. I don't think it's going to ever happen again, though.
No, that was
I
wild.
think Baldy had the best advice. Get your butt in shape, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that plays a role.
Yeah.
But it does. It's crazy. It just feels so crazy out there. And then tonight, Kevin, welcome home to Tobias tonight. We're throwing a party. Welcome back, Tobias.
All right. So I'm going to say this about Tobias. I really like Tobias. I think everybody that's ever met Tobias, phenomenal community guy. Anybody on the planet would be crazy to say no if you were offered that contract, him and his dad. They did a phenomenal job at the right time. They capitalized in 2019. Listen, I would just say this as Sixers fans, and I've seen some stuff out there already and how upset Pistons fans are with Tobias. I would just say, hey, man, wish him the best of luck. Hey, here's another crazy thing. Congrats to Tobias to get that money in Detroit. Like, phenomenal. Like, he is in the sports business Hall of Fame and understanding that. And I got no ill will to Tobias. Best of luck. It's not the same. Like, I think the animosity that a lot of people feel for Ben Simmons, that it's the same with Tobias. Not the same. Just frustration with Tobias because you wish that he could have stepped up and been that third guy that they needed, but I got no ill will.
Well, it's funny because he's one of the nicest guys in the world, right? Like, you meet him, he's fantastic, right? Like, we did the movie Hustle together, right? Like, he's just a great dude. Except he was Tobias the friendly ghost, so he is Tobias the friendly thief because he stole a lot of money. Right?
And it's a perfect storm. We're irritated. No Embiid, no Paul George, and Tobias is back.
Yeah, and then there's just all that angst. And you're 100% right, VG. And did I hear you guys bring up Danny Tartable?
Yeah.
Did you bring up Tartable? And I was like, oh my gosh. And there's going to be a generation of kids, 20 years from now, they're going to bring up Tobias.
Yes.
Kevin, no NBA players made more money than Tobias Harris and never made an All-Star game. $211 million.
The Sports Business Hall of Fame.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Man, my man, it's amazing he doesn't wear a mask. It is. It's unbelievable.
Again, I wish him only the best. I really do. Again, to your point, you brought up the nicest guy in the world.
He's a gentleman. He really is.
And that you know what? I'll always go back. That game one, I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was the COVID year. Game one of the Wizards series. And he was phenomenal in that first game. And I'll never forget it. We were there, and it was awesome. And it was one of those moments you're like, oh, man, like if we only had this type of play, what could have been? We saw flashes, but unfortunately, in some of our biggest moments, we haven't had that. We haven't had the production that we hoped and anticipated for over the last 5 years.
He's, you know where he was? Like, he's got the DNA of a guy that would always put up numbers on a bad team. So, like, do you remember when they traded for Roy Hinson? Like, he's that player. He's that guy.
Oh, man. Yeah, I do remember Roy Hinson and then Brad Doherty trade. That was just a nightmare.
He was that guy. He was like, on a bad team, put up numbers. On a good team, you disappear. And that's kind of, that's kind of been his MO. All right. I got to get to this because I'm before we get to Eagles and all. Penn State, Ohio State, brother. I cannot wait. How do you feel? First of all, how about our boys, Huskers, playing the Buckeyes? Man, they scared the daylights out of Ohio State last week.
And I was texting Matt. Matt's message after the game, Matt Rule, I thought was so appropriate of understanding. And like he needed to send the message to his team that, hey, they're on the right track. And Matt and I were texting after the game, and he talked about, hey, I've seen it. You've got to go through the pain right now. And I'm like, I know, man. You've usually experienced these gut punches in year two wherever you go, and they're on the right track, man. They showed a ton of heart, man, and just Ohio State's just way too talented, man. In the end, like the NIL money shows out. It changes everything. And I'm not saying Nebraska's broke. I'm just saying, like, just the talent on the Ohio State roster is just way too. I mean, in the end, it's going to win those moments, those big games, because Ohio State had that stop inside the 2-yard line, right, when it was a 14-9 game. And that played a huge role down the road. I mean, Nebraska eventually scored to take the lead, but you stop, you don't get points in a game like that where you need points. That was killer, man. And you're playing a freshman quarterback in Raiola. Right. This Penn State game is
hey, real quick, Kev. Did Matt hit you with this? I always like to see if we're getting duplicate text. We work, we fight, we build.
No, but it was the same theme. It was So Matt and I go back to, and Anthony, you could appreciate this. Matt and I go back to when he was dealing with, media for the first time, when Temple was starting in national media and all.
Yeah.
So Matt and Matt would hit me up and I would give him some advice. Hey, this was good. This was good. How about this? And he is so locked into the idea of the messaging when it comes to being at a press conference. So whenever he talks, I actually listen to what's the exact message and what's the message to the team and how is he coming across. So I usually give him notes. Hey, this was a phenomenal. And he's so good now and he doesn't need my help. It's just me just sending him stuff. And then he'll come back and I'm like, I love what you just said and how you said it, right? So with Matt, it's so funny that it's kind of like watching somebody that you knew from the beginning and then carry out the same type of message and understanding. And he's so good. He's so good with
what was fun about it, Kev, is that he would do shows with me. When he was at Temple, he would do full show. Like he loved it. And we would talk all sports. Like he would come in and we weren't talking Temple football, especially not in the beginning. In the beginning, they weren't a story yet. So he would come in and we would talk Eagles and we'd talk Phillies and Sixers. And he loved it. Like he just loved it. Because he's got such a great personality. So it was fun.
And I'll add to that. He still talks about his greatest memories in Philadelphia. He loves the community and he understands kind of how we are. And he embraced himself in all of that. So you're 100% right. He could do a talk show when this football career is over. He could host afternoon programming in Philadelphia because he just loves it.
So how do you analyze this game? I'm curious because I don't know how I feel. I've been trying to look at it, and obviously we want to see Penn State win. This is it for you think about Franklin and you think about his tenure. and he needs this win. This is the signature win that he's been searching for. It's right in front of him.
You know what's fascinating here? I actually think Ohio State needs this win more than Penn State. Here's why. That lost to Oregon, and they've got Indiana in November. And Penn State comes in with a goose egg, right? No losses yet. I understand big picture-wise what Penn State has to do to kind of get the monkey off your back and what he's gone through with Ohio State and Michigan over the last 7-8 years. But I actually think Ohio State's going to come in as a desperate team. Aller's injury plays a huge role here. Abdul Carter's phenomenal. Penn State they can go toe-to-toe roster-wise. It's a question of where's your quarterback health-wise? Can he make a few big throws, and can Aller do it? Because I think Aller's going to find a way to play no matter what. They showed a lot of toughness against Wisconsin because that was one of those games that anything can happen, right? And you're looking ahead potentially. I think this game comes down to who makes a mistake. And can you find out where that freaking freshman wide receiver Jeremiah Smith is on the field? Because let me tell you, he is going to make a play. The kid is unbelievable. He's a freak. You can do whatever you want to him. He is going to make a play. They just have so many options. One thing that I find interesting, though, with Ohio State is under Chip Kelly's running the offense. They haven't been able to establish the run like you thought they would be able to. And I'll be curious if they try to do a little bit of that with Trevion and Quinshawn. So I actually think Ohio State comes in and they have to win this game. I think Penn State, they need to win it. I think the fan base needs to see it. I think James Franklin needs it. I think the players need it. But big picture-wise, when we talk about the playoff, I don't think it would be as devastating as we kind of portray.
So that's an interesting. You know what? You're right. Now that you explain it, it makes a lot of sense. It just feels like they need it bad. It's just because what's been their signature win under Franklin?
The 2016 game when they beat Ohio State and they shocked them, and then they surprised them and they won the Big Ten championship. You're 100% right. What has been their signature win? I mean, you can make a case that they're showing. I don't care what you say about where USC is. They went to the Coliseum. They came back. They won that game. They had the best tight end in the country in Tyler Warren. They showed some mettle in a game like that. That's a game that maybe last year they don't win. I think they've got a ton of creativity on the offensive side that we haven't seen, that everybody's been screaming about for years. So I really like Aller's knee plays a big role in this game and how he feels, but also he's got to make 3, I think, or 4 throws. And where is Jeremiah Smith on the field when Penn State's defense is out there?
All right. You brought up Indiana. They're a great story. That coach is, you want to talk about stones, man. He's unafraid of anything. How legit are they?
Listen, and Curtis, the one thing is Curtis Rourke comes in from Ohio, right? And he has the experience. That thumb's actually getting better. They play with a moxie, and they are one of those teams that they take the entire identity of the coach and it transforms the entire university. And Cignetti doesn't back down from anybody. And he'll punch you in the face, and they've got great creativity on the offensive side. So I think we're going to learn a hell of a lot about Indiana. And Indiana is one of those teams that if they play Ohio State well and that's their only loss, then keep an eye on Indiana. Keep an eye on them. But the problem with Indiana is you've got Oregon in the conversation. And that's the same thing with Penn State. Like, you got Oregon and Ohio State here, right, at the top. And Indiana and Penn State specifically, they've got to figure something out with the Buckeyes standing in their way of potentially a playoff berth or even getting in the Big Ten conference championship game.
It's an interesting story, the whole Cignetti, because I went to IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and it's always like his dad was the god of Western football. Like the stadium at IUP is named Cignetti Stadium. This is Curtis Cignetti.
Yeah.
He was the head coach there for a while before he went to James Madison and stuff. So it's this whole Indiana connection. And it's from a great line of head coaches, this IUP connection. Jim Haslett, Nick Sirianni was a secondary coach there. It's a good football school out in Western PA. But the Signetti thing is very interesting because it's a name I've known since I was like 18 in Indiana. It's like a football royalty name out in Western PA.
Yeah, he grew up, and you can see when he talks, like the guy believes in himself and he knows that what he does works. And to, not just IUP too, James Madison, like that is a phenomenal environment of growing programs and head coaches that know how to win with that winning tradition, that winning mentality. And that transforms places. I mean, like when you look at some of these great coaches, like they come from these type of programs, like small overlooked programs. JMU is no longer that, but that identity, right? Grand Valley State, we saw that specifically on the Brian Kelly tree going to Cincinnati eventually, and then Notre Dame, and then now at LSU. You saw that specifically, Kalen DeBoer understanding how to win, the culture of winning through these small programs and eventually getting there. It plays a huge role, man. If you could establish that, man, kids gravitate.
Well, you brought up Chip for a second, and we're going to talk a little bit more about him because we're going to do a thing called the X-Files, and we're going to take a look at, in honor of Tobias, we're going to take a look at Chip Kelly coming back because, he's playing Penn State. He was such an interesting guy, except he turned out to be kind of a one-trick pony, right? Like, how do you reconcile Chip Kelly? Because in the NFL, I used to do a show with LaShawn McCoy, and Shady was like, dude, Chip wants me out. I'm like, nah, man, you fit his offense. Like, you couldn't find a back that fit his offense perfect. Sure enough, he got rid of him when he got the chance, and he goes to DeMarco Murray, who was a stretch runner who did not fit his offense. And I never could reconcile that a guy that spent that much time with football couldn't differentiate between what LaShawn McCoy did and what a stretch running back would do.
Yeah, that roster, it had Vic, Macklin, LaShawn, Deshaun. You bring it up to any of those guys, and you will get a harsh reaction. So I can tell you my personal experience. I loved Chip coming out of Oregon. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought he was going to be a fantastic head coach with the Eagles. And then when it turned sideways and you started hearing stories about they're running just 4 or 5 plays over and over and over again, I was like, this doesn't make sense here, that it's this basic, I was pretty critical of Chip that last year. And then we hired him at ESPN. And Chip was fully aware of my critical tweets. He was very aware of my public commentary. And I had to do a morning Sports Center segment. Well, first off, I was in the green room with him every Saturday. And him and I formed a pretty cool relationship. And then Sunday mornings, I was doing like a specific segment with him on Sports Center on Sundays during that 2017 season. And it was an interesting, we'd have interesting conversations. I learned a hell of a lot from him. He was always good to me. He knew I was very outspoken. I would pick his brain. And then, I would get crushed during these Sports Center segments by social media and Eagles fans. How could you sit next to him? How could you talk to him? You should do this. You should punch him in the face. And, and my response to the Eagles fans was, hey, man, like, we're running this ship right now. We're doing really well. Why are you still mad at Chip Kelly? Like, we're on our way to potential winning the division, and that was the year we won the Super Bowl. And the vitriol was unbelievable. And I was like, we got to let it go. We're well on our way. Carson Wentz is going to be the MVP, And then Chip took the job at UCLA. Chip and I, we're good. And I learned a hell of a lot from him sitting in many of those meetings and conversations and how he saw football. And it wasn't as basic as we all thought when he ran the Eagles. I still don't. I never brought it up. What happened? I literally never brought that up.
I was curious. Do you ever got into
no?
What is mindset? Like, the other aspect was, how would he think his offense would work in that league when you wilt your defense? Just
You're
philosophically speaking, like, and I remember the same thing where I had defensive coordinators tell me, like, dude, he runs the same stuff over and over again. Like, it's not like because he comes walking in like he's a genius, and in reality, he wasn't. Like,
it also gives you an example of just how hard it is to transition when you are a head coach in college football. Hey, Nick Saban went through this. Where you're a head coach in college football, Urban Meyer went through this, and everybody listens to you. It's your way or the highway. And now you go to the NFL and you're dealing with adults who make more money than you, and they're like, what are you talking about? I ain't doing that, right? And I'm not trying that, and this ain't working. It's just different, man.
Right.
And that's why a lot of successful college coaches, head coaches, make the transition to the NFL. It just doesn't work for many of those high-profile guys. It's the perfect example. And the greatest college football coach of all time, Nick Saban, experienced that with the Dolphins. And I think everybody forgets that often. And he found his way. One of the things that Nick and Chip like to do, no matter what, is coach. They like to coach the game. And one of the reasons why Chip left UCLA to take over Ohio State as the OC is he just wants to coach the offense. He doesn't want all the other stuff that comes with it. He's reached a point in his career where it's just like, hey man, I still like designing plays. I still like, being an OC and calling plays. And in the end, he found his passion again. And I think it's a good spot for him because some of these guys just don't want to play the role of CEO.
So you think you don't think he'll go back to being a head coach?
Nope. I think he does not have to deal with boosters. He doesn't have to deal with the transfer portal.
Well, especially now between NIL and the transfer portal.
Nope. I don't think any of those guys want anything to do with it. It's, hey, I'd like to go back to coaching. In the end, Ant, I bet you Chip will coach a Division II or Division III football team running an offense or coach high school. Because in the end, he just still likes the basics of coaching.
Yeah. Well, listen, Andy, I got to tell you, Andy's like that. Andy gave up a lot of the front office duties to Brett Veach. Like he wanted to make sure he was like, you know what? He loves listen, Spags does all the defense. He just loves his offense. He loves coaching.
Yep, you're 100% right. And Veach has nailed so many of the draft picks, and he's just like, I'm good, man. I don't need to do it anymore. I don't need, I'm sure he's consulted along with.
He has a certain eye. Like, I still contend to this day that he's got a great eye for talent that people don't realize.
Without question. Without question. I will say, Chip deserves one big credit in Philadelphia. He's a Hall of Famer. That is drafting Lane Johnson.
Yes. He
got that one right. There's a few where you're like, what are we doing? I don't understand.
Yeah, I just didn't understand. Forget about his personality and all the other stuff, because he was our players would talk about him and like one day, I don't know, maybe it's just who he was. One day he'd be overly friendly, and the next day he wouldn't even speak to you.
Yeah. And you know what? And to your point, guess what? That works in the college game. That doesn't work in the pros.
No.
Unless you're Bill Belichick.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. No, it's the truth. So it's fascinating. Kev, you're the greatest, man. We love you. Always so much fun.
Appreciate it.
The best. Go ahead.
Go Vols. Big game against Kentucky.
Hey, man, I don't know what the heck happened to Kentucky, but don't sleep this weekend. Just don't sleep because you can't. Because strange things happen in November.
Shh, don't even put that into the ether.
Hey, Navy, it's a shame Navy kind of got exposed. I think Army's better.
Yeah.
Will you agree?
To your point, I was stunned at how undisciplined Navy was in a game like that and the magnitude. In the end, kids just trying to do too much. And it was Notre Dame that actually just stayed the course the entire time and watched the Fighting Irish. Their schedule is very, very easy. They got Army, like you mentioned, but USC ain't USC. Florida State ain't State. Watch the Fighting Irish to get in that playoff.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Brother, we love you. You're the greatest.
Fellas, be good, man. Take care.
See you, buddy. There he is, the great Kevin Negandhi.
He's looking good in that Kelly Green.
Yeah, I love that guy. It's Kelly Green week, man. Friday, we got to be bathed in it.
Oh, yeah?
All right? I love the
right.
Kelly Green. It is the greatest thing in the world. All right, we're going to tell you about a couple things. Let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. We'll be there later on tonight, right, Andrew?
That we will.
We love it. I love it. I mean, it's one of the fun times of the week that we look forward to. All right, let's go. One of the things that we love about, besides just the restaurants and everything else, is the acts. So I look forward to this whole segment, right? Because this is where we give you the Parks Casino tickets on sale right now for these headliners. Just announced comedian Ron White, who's hysterical.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
On March 21st. Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains, February 8th.
Here they come to snuff the rooster. Yeah.
Actor Richard Kind from Curb Your Enthusiasm on January 24th. He's hysterical. I love that show too, by the way. November 1st, Invincible, a tribute to Michael Jackson.
Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who says that I am the one.
All right. That was very good. November 14th, Ezra Ray Hart. The lead singers from Sugar Ray, Better Than Ezra, and Tonic join together for an incredible night.
I remember running through the wet grass, falling a step behind. Both of us never tiring of desperately wanting.
That's a good song.
Wow. that was impressive. November 16th, Bret Michaels.
We both lie silently still in the dead of the night.
Ooh.
Although we both lie close together, we feel miles apart inside. Was it something I said or something I did?
There you go.
Bret Michaels himself.
Look at that. December 14th, comedian Eric D'Alessandro. You can enjoy dinner and drinks before the show. Liberty Bell Gastropub, Parks Grill Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, baby. It's all there. ParksCasino.com to purchase tickets for all shows. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Parks Casino. All roads lead to Parks Casino.
And if they don't lead you to Parks, they lead you to Rite Aid. I went there for candy, and they also got your fall allergy because the allergy season is constantly here. It was supposed to be just the spring. Now it's spring. Now it's the fall. Now it's going into November. And what is causing these allergies in the fall? Well, it's ragweed and mold. We haven't had a lot of rain, so it's probably ragweed. And you know how it is. Ragweed enters your nose. Your body thinks it's an intruder. Histamine start firing off. Next thing you know, you got water, itchy eyes, itchy throat, stuffy nose, can't think straight. So what do? How do you get relief? Well, first of all, sign up for Rite Aid Reward emails at riteaid.com/rewards to receive email alerts when pollen and ragweed are high in your area. Also, you can head over and try some over-the-counter options that they have available for you. Try a nasal rinse, flush out the nasal passages, and when symptoms are flaring up, grab those antihistamines like Claritin, Zyrtec, Allegra, and if you like the nose sprays, they got nasal corticosteroids like Flonase and Nasacort. They got all those name brand things and items, and they got them in their own Rite Aid brand. Save you a couple bucks, just as effective. If you're still not getting enough relief, you can always ask a Rite Aid pharmacist if there's a different type of allergy medication for you. Maybe a decongestant would work. And you can always ask your Rite Aid pharmacist for recommendations on ways to get relief during allergy season.
All right, VG. This portion of the program brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. All right, we want to do a little fun today because it's Tobias Day. Tobias coming back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, woohoo.
We'll talk about it all morning. So we wanted to do a thing called the X-Files. I love it, Andrew.
Nice.
I love it. I love it, Frazier. So the X-Files, periodically we're going to look at all the former Philadelphia athletes, our former friends.
Our exes.
Our exes, correct. Let's begin with said Tobias. All right, tonight.
He's up.
That's the greatest. The sky in the background. What? That's classic. Just look at that face.
He's a brick house.
Let's get a preview of what we'll see tonight at Wells Fargo with Tobias.
$26 million for Tobias Harris! Bang! Can't spell Nazi without spelling Tobias Harris! Bang! Guy hasn't hit a shot since he put on a Piston uniform. What happened? Seeing PE school teachers with bigger bags than Tobias Harris. What is this? Bang!
Plenty of Embiid, Luke Cornett on an isolation. You can't beat
Luke Cornett! Why? Oh, sure. Let's run in transition. Let's do it. Come on, Cade. Go to work, Cade. Find the open man. Oh, no, not Tobias. No! Man, gotta love the long contested twos, bro. Gotta love them. Definitely a great shot. That's a great shot.
I think I'd rather see Stevie Wonder with a shot in the clutch over Tobias Harris.
There was no shot. That was going in.
When you have the chance to go right at Drew Holiday, you take that opportunity, right?
Right! Tobias tried to kill Jaylen Brown, put him in jail, take him off my team, elbow to the face!
Those guys are great.
What they're saying in Detroit about Tobias Harris. Do we have a preview of his game tonight?
Is it the one that, yep.
Yes, we do. Here you go. This will be Tobias tonight at the Wells Fargo Center. That, of course, is someone laying bricks. Thank you, Eddie Wright. That's a great preview of tonight with Tobias.
That guy's voice encapsulated all of our frustrations watching him shoot.
Oh my God, it was great. Well, Tobias isn't alone.
No.
All right.
Oh, there's a few exes having a good time.
There's a few exes that are having fun. We mentioned Chip Kelly. Yeah. And Chip Kelly, now the offense coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They come to Happy Valley, and Chip, the OC, he had to sweat last week against our boy Matt Rule at Nebraska. Look at this play from the great mind of Chip Kelly.
Empty backfield. Howard, quick toss out wide. And Henderson, empty backfield.
Oh, man.
Howard, quick toss out wide.
I could design that for $30.
Chip, who they had to sweat to beat Nebraska. He's got all those weapons that money can buy.
Yes.
And Chip, they're still going to sweat. Kevin's right. They're sweating for that for the playoff spot.
I've never been this much of a Penn State fan as I am this weekend. Go Nits!
Yeah, I listen. I feel you, man. He is. He's still a hate to face for me.
He just thinks he's so smart.
He's smug.
No, the smuggest.
Oh God, he just is. And listen, I wanted to love him. He told a story about how much he loved football, and he would go and watch all this. He'd go sit in a bar and with all the coaches, and they would have greasy pizza and a pitcher of beer, and they'd be drawing stuff up on napkins. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
It's the same play he was drawing up
over
again and again and again.
And over and over again is right.
He was a big pizza and beer guy because he lived in my neighborhood. He frequented. He supported the local establishments on the regular.
God bless. Anybody loves pizza and beer. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's the best. Nothing greater.
Should have been in the film room a little more than he was at the pub.
God's gift is pizza and beer. Speaking of old friends, Carson Wentz.
Oh, what's he up to these days?
So,
man, I do not miss that face at all.
Do you remember that face?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
You'd see Carson and you go, all right, he's what? Thank God. The greatest thing from Sunday is that Jalen played so well that all the bad habits kind of went away, right?
Yeah.
And for once, I lost the fear because there was a part of me that had this fear that we'll go down the same road with Jalen that we did with Carson.
He was showing his spaz moments, maybe it's a two
Not
shoes.
seeing.
Yeah.
I remember Carson going, like there were moments where Wentz wouldn't see a linebacker in front of him. There was a game It was like in Seattle or something. I'm like, and he didn't see the linebacker right in front. I'm like, how do you not see him? He's right there.
He's thinking about turkeys and pheasants.
He could never throw the ball to anybody in the backfield. I remember watching him try to pass to Miles Sanders and just sailing it over his head so many times.
And he had great skill. He had a great arm. He was big and strong. I don't know what happened to that dude.
Eddie Wright's on fire. Carson is currently wringing the neck of a rabbit he caught on his compound.
He did get into the game, though.
Wentz outdoors.
He did?
He put him in the game.
Wait, in a meaningful
Here it
moment?
is. At the goal line.
can do to help the team. Carson Wentz is on at quarterback. They give it inside anyway to Hunt, and he gets through the one.
Why is Andy doing
How about
that?
that scenario?
Just toss him a bone? What is?
No, you want to take a different look. It's just by having him in the game, it throws off the offense.
So he's a
Throws off defense.
interesting. So he's a
Throws off the
decoy.
defense. Yes.
A decoy.
Just like a duck decoy.
Just like a duck
There you
decoy.
go.
Correct.
It's coming full
Very
circle.
good, VG.
Correct. Very good.
good.
Quack, quack.
Yes.
All right. All right. Our other friend, he's back with the Jets.
Oh.
Hassan Reddick. Now, the Jets are 2-6. They're a mess. And Hassan is in a beef.
Yeah, not the right guy to get in a beef with.
Hassan Reddick, after all that time sitting out, I mean, gaining nothing.
No.
He gained nothing. But he did gain an enemy by the name of Bill Belichick.
The Bills just called it like it was.
On there, there were several drops in the game, but just a game that you got to look at Jacoby, and then Riddick came in the game and just ran past the quarterback multiple times, whether it was May or Jacoby, and created those scramble lanes that that the Patriots took advantage of, and big win for him.
Now, all right, it's probably an honest assessment. He was probably amped up to try and prove and do too much, so he's over aggressive.
Okay,
fine.
but was that damning?
No.
I mean, he just ran past the quarterback a couple times.
I mean, you hear the cast giggle, so maybe he gets upset at that as well.
But Reddick did not like it.
No.
So here we go. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I can read it off here. I'll put it up on the screen.
Do me a favor. Put it on the screen.
Yep.
This is what Hassan
It's kind of hard
said.
to see here, but he says, "Hey, someone call Bill Belichick and give him a job. Seems like he's home bored and can't keep me out of his mouth. Come up for air, why don't you? No Diddy."
Come on, man.
I don't even understand half of that.
Yeah, what? Come up for air, no Diddy. I don't know. Andrew was trying to explain that to me. I kind of understand.
The guy needs a job. He's at home. I mean, he's everywhere, Bill Belichick. He is not at home. He is working his tail off. He's on TV every day, I feel like.
Yeah, Hassan. Things didn't go right this Never good at this age. You can't sit out, man.
No.
You can't sit out. All right, finally, it wouldn't be the X-Files without this man.
There he is.
There it is.
Oh,
Fresh from the lab.
Yes.
Ben Simmons, baby.
The lab face right there.
Ben Simmons. Do we have any videos about Ben?
Oh yeah, we got Ben.
Do we have any videos about Ben?
Ben doesn't play back-to-back games.
Well, no, I was going to say, let's save that.
All right.
Yeah.
First, let's see Ben playing.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Here's some Ben Simmons.
Let's come down with Simmons and an immediate turnover, a loose ball. Hunter hits the deck, thrown to Capella.
An immediate turnover.
To Dyson Daniel. Goes in.
Well,
lays
this
it up
layup.
short. 61-56. Simmons. Poked away by
Dude,
Dyson
that pass
Daniels.
is... I don't know what he's looking at.
Maybe he's colorblind.
Hawks can cheat on defense a little bit.
Oh,
great.
Ben threw it.
And
15
he's
for Dyson
left-handed.
in
That's a
his-
left-handed layup he refused to do. Threw it back out for a turnover. Left-handed layup.
Could you believe? Seriously.
6'10", a left-handed layup?
To this day. So then last night, we're looking for the box score.
Yeah.
You were looking for Ben in the box score. No Ben.
No Ben in the
DNP.
box.
No Ben in the box, no. DNP. Ben does not play. Because Ben, just like Joel, does not play back-to-backs.
Because of his back.
Are you got to be kidding me?
He stinks. I'm so glad he's not here. You sit down. I don't know how he passed through any interview process, and they're like, "Yeah, this guy's a player." I mean, you saw the skill, but there were so many red flags.
I was a sucker.
So many red flags.
A sucker. Both Ben and Wentz in my life. The bane of my existence.
Ben was like,
I was right there with you.
Ben was a consensus number 1 pick, right? I mean, everyone was on Ben Simmons.
Yes.
You can't blame you for that one.
No, but still, talk about just disappointing.
He just doesn't. He doesn't. I don't think he really loves playing the game.
No, he wanted to be a celebrity.
Yeah, he wants to be a socialite.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he goes to all
Instagrammer.
those big events.
Yeah.
He goes, the galas, all that stuff. He's always there at all those things. That's what's more important to
run
him
around with
than actually
Kardashians.
the Kardashians, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's more important to him than actually playing the game that's making him the money.
And ultimately, let's go full circle to wrap up the show. We talked about the insanity of sports. Well, no one encapsulates. In fact, all 5 of the X-Files encapsulate the insanity of sports.
Yeah,
it's excessive money, right? It's excessive ego. It's the intersection of pop culture, everything that's wrong with pop culture, the obsession with pop culture, taking over sports.
Here's the insanity too. Matt in the chat room brings it up. I just had to confirm it. Ben's making $40 million this year. $40 million.
I mean, if Tobias is a thief, what is Simmons?
Oh, he's grand theft larceny.
I mean,
he's the vault cracker. He's the guy that knows how to get in there and really find the money.
I mean, it's unfathomable that you would, like, if you're the owner. Now, I know you're worth more than God, right? But that you would have to actually see a payroll check to that dude? That's unreal. That would drive me insane. Like, I just would want to pay it out one lump sum and forget it. Go away.
107. His contract is $177 million. He's on the final year of.
Unreal. It really is.
Do you think realistically, since it's the last year of his contract, will he go anywhere else, or do you think it's going to be just retire?
I don't know.
Who would want him?
I can't imagine. First of all, he has to play back-to-backs, right? So why would you want? It's one thing. You're Joel Embiid, right?
Right, yeah. You're a top 10 player in the league.
He puts up, 5 points, maybe?
He stinks. He flat out stinks. He'll have accomplished his goal, right? He'll have made a lifetime, many lifetimes of money to do nothing.
Nothing. He has made no meanful contribution to
He's
any
a complete
season.
waste.
Yes.
It's unreal. And I love the guy. To this day, talk about a stab. When I see him or Wentz, thank God.
Well, let's go to a different time period. Let's go for our back in the day a little bit.
Back.
Yeah, we'll get to a better time.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
I'm going to take you back to the cover of the Philadelphia Inquirer, October 30th, 2008. World champs. A little Brad Lidge on his knees, Chooch running.
That's today.
That's the headline. I mean, they won it yesterday. That's today's headline, whatever years ago.
Right, because tomorrow was the parade.
Yes. Yep.
And it was Halloween.
Yep.
What a great time.
Yeah.
It was 70 degrees, much like it's going to be tomorrow. It was in the 70s. It was warm.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible. It was a great day, man.
Yeah, they were a great.
I was atop the Union League.
For the parade?
Yeah, looking down at a sea of people.
Yeah.
And the buses came down Broad Street, right? And you could make eye-to-eye. They were like eye-to-eye to us because they were on the big double-decker buses.
Mm-hmm.
We need another parade. I'm dying for one. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe the birds. Who knows? You know?
You get a Soto parade.
Soto parade. Soto's not coming here. There's no way in the world they're going to.
Don't stop all my grapes already.
I can't. I have to make wine out of that.
Come on.
There's no way they're going to think you can get Soto.
I got the pagan and the people in Philly doing a little special something. A little law of attraction. A little law of attraction spell.
I don't know. I don't know. All right. Well, we got lots to do and talk about all week long leading up to Eagles and Doug. A Doug tribute.
Doug,
Speaking of X-Files, will happen on Friday. Everybody have a great day. We love you. All right. Be careful. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.